Okay, so this is Mintbase. So is anybody familiar with Mintbase, or has anyone on this call minted with Mintbase before? Nope. All right. So the main theory is that, what's that?
I said I think I used you guys before. But...
Cool. So you guys can see the screen. That's good. So basically our main point is we want these NFTs to live on all the wallets, and ticketing just sort of makes sense. So we ended up doing the Meta Cartel demo day. We released our product in June of last year. And so the first go-to was with Peter and Meta Cartel and doing 100% tickets as NFTs at his event. So every single one of these humans has an NFT ticket. And we can come into EtherScan and we can see that there are 230 unique holders, which was a pretty amazing process. The real crazy thing is I thought the night before there'd be 100 people asking me how to do X, Y, and Z, but the fluidity of it was actually pretty easy. So just kind of going into what the product looks like. So you have your little dashboard. We make it really easy to stack all these NFTs on top of each other with your own bit. So there's 14 of these, 14 of these, 82 of these. If we go into our little minter, so each one of these are your own unique deployed smart contract. So if I go into NFT NYC was the second big ticketing event that we did. What was unique about that is they wanted their tickets to be embedded into their site. So let's see if it's still up on their site. So what you're actually able to do, just like you can embed a YouTube video into your site, you can actually embed your mints. So if we come in here and go register now, we can do your traditional Eventbrite ticket, or you can actually have your Mintbase mints. So we're still on their website. Just doing a quick ping. Everyone can still see all this stuff, right?
Yes.
Cool. So this is neat because we're the ones who handle the whole interaction with MetaMask or with whatever wallet you've got. And so to actually show how that works, the buy process on mobile, let's go into our keynote. Let's go into presentation mode. So here's how to actually buy the item. We were pretty focused on mobile. So what you're about to see is someone going into Telegram, open a link. We're not connected to an Ethereum node. And so if we click buy now, you get an option between Fortmatic, Coinbase, or Trust. If we click Coinbase, we deep link you into the dApp browser. And within 3 clicks, you're buying the ticket. So everyone always complains about how difficult crypto payments is. I'd argue this is way, 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 way easier than the normal buying process where you put in your credit card, your first name, your last name, your security number, which if anybody gets that info, then anyone can basically duplicate that. So the real fun part is actually the redeeming process. I don't think I've set up my system so that it would work really well. But the way we're doing the redeeming is kind of the interesting part. I should have set that up. Let's go. If anybody's interested in the redeeming, I can show you guys that later. But essentially, you use Wallet Connect to tap into the system. So let's see. Yeah, so every store gets their own little redeemer button. You can mint your tokens through our nice little handy dandy minting system. You basically just come in here. You maybe want to have a week pass on the BVG Berlin system. Pass does things. We can add the dates that it should exist to. We can add maybe it's in Berlin. A bunch of bits more. But what's really neat is that everything we do is really, really asynchronous. So if we go and we do the confirm, we just told the blockchain to go do something. So I can do other stuff right now. I can say mint token, I can transfer a token. But as soon as that confirms, without touching anything, we're going to see the mint pop up after it goes. See, there it is. So I didn't touch anything. So that buy process, or anytime we interact with the blockchain, what we're actually doing is we send a message directly to the blockchain and send it through your wallet. But in reality, we're actually running everything off of the graph. So our entire interface runs off of this thing. So that's pretty neat because anyone else can hook into, we're not using WebSockets, we're doing everything through this polling. So our entire interface runs off of this one query endpoint. So when you go and you create your own contract, you yourself can say, okay, here's my NFT NYC. If they don't want to trust us with all the numbers, they can basically come into here and say, okay, I'll build my own reporting system. And you just get simple information like the token state, whether it's been bought, sold, or transferred, the price of it, how many exist, so on. So, I mean, we do have time. I might as well show it. You guys still with me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. On a show of hands, you guys want to see the redeemer? It'll take me like 2 seconds to set that up.
Yeah, we got 30 minutes, so we started you a little bit early.
All right. Cool.
Okay,
all right, I'm gonna set it up. You guys can go ahead and fire some questions while we're doing this.
Again.
That is
That is
because
your
my
phone.
phone is hooking up to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I go
Previously, it was someone AFK.
that. Let's
So who
see.
started up Mintbase? Like, who was the original? Had the kind of starting idea.
That was me. So our team is just us two still. New movie recording.
So Nate was in Prague and he won the DEF CON for hackathon back in 2018. It was like the original idea of Mintbase. And then he came to Berlin and worked out of Full Node. And this is where we two met each other, like at a blockchain event. And yeah, since like 1.5 years, you have been working on Mintbase. Right?
Yeah. Let's go into here. Come on, work. Go. Well, just believe me that it works. So I think it's a reverb thing when we're trying to hook in a camera phone to the screen process. But what I can do is let's go into Mintbase markets. So these are all the markets. We have a lot of them. So each one is their own individual smart contract created by our users. So if we want the extremely wide view, we can come into here and it's 380 stores. What's neat about that is if we go into the graph, all of our information is available to anybody. So this link is open to you guys too. If you press play, all this information stored on IPFS. You can see a total of 381 unique stores have been created. These are smart contracts that have been deployed by our users. So over 25,000 tokens have been minted, and we've had over 43.9 ETH run through our system. This is all since November, so we're kind of cooking. But the big news is that we're doing 100% of the ticketing for DAppCon. And why I think this is really big for our space is because, so if we go in here and we click tickets, you can have this little buy in crypto. Soon at the end of the month, we're working on a fiat integration with Stripe. So that'll be available quite soon. As soon as the fiat happens, might as well just show you guys this. It's probably some top secret information. No, I won't. Anyways, everyone's going to have an NFT at the end of the day. But if we go buy in crypto, you can come in here and you can see there's 5 available and you can purchase the ticket.
And just on a note, they're super cheap right now, the tickets. So if you guys want to get them while ETH is down,
yeah,
go for it.
142 versus the 300 point. So what's going to be interesting about at this point is then we're going to start doing invoicing and a few other key benefits. Let's go. Go ahead.
So we want to involve as many like other companies, blockchain companies as possible. So we are hyper focused on interoperability. So those tickets should live on any wallet, on any ERC 721 compatible wallet. So we're really excited to like see how it works in action. What we're also going to do for DEPCON is a voting mechanism. So every token holder has a right to vote on certain things. So that will also be fascinating to see that interplay. So we want to not only have the ticket at DEPCON as a ticket, but the ticket is more, it's interoperable, it unlocks other assets. So if anyone has some idea how else we can make this NFT valuable, just like let us know, like if you want to get involved.
I'm going to stop the screen share. Yeah, so part of the ideas that we're pitching are to have 3-box integration and have people opt in to actually want to show their profiles, get thrown around the DAppCon, being able to see as people get checked in, what Twitter links happen. It'd be interesting to hear your guys' idea. So what's so fascinating about this is it's now we have one key center point of everybody attending a conference to interact with. So this is a pretty neat experimentation opportunity for all of us to say, okay, hey, you have a verified contract that is DAppCon. Anybody can hook up to it. The ABI is open. Anybody can run their own Ethers.js link and do the buying and selling and switching on their own side without interacting with Mintbase. I'm kind of curious to get your guys' kind of input. Anyone? We can open it up to a discussion here.
I mean, I've got something, but it's kind of unrelated. Just for you guys, a quick question. So, what kind of like made you, get into the NFT thing or think, start up Mintbase? Like, what kind of led you to doing that? Where did you see the value in starting Mintbase?
Definitely. So my background is I worked with Nike and RGA is a big ad agency. They stuck me on Nike ID. And the code base was horrendous. This project's been around since 1998, I think. It was built in Flash first, then they wrote it all in jQuery. When I adopted it, everything was just basically a massive global nightmare. So you couldn't really develop on it properly. So this is when I was pretty deep into Angular and I was starting to push it to do Angular 1, and then React just barely came out. And so my big thing is I got them to overhaul that sucker all in React when it was still in beta. And then I ended up working at a company called Bumped, where basically you swipe your debit or credit card at Starbucks and you get fractional shares of publicly traded stock as a reward. So buy a cup of coffee, at the end of the week, we'll give you 0.0021 shares of Starbucks stock, pay your electric bill, pay something on Amazon, and essentially we can give you fractional shares as a reward. So kind of the system that we're building is a mush between these two ideas. It's being able to do something highly complicated in a nice visual way, and then also interacting with the settlement layer. I was in charge of actually making the partnerships with Apex Clearing. They're the ones that basically Robinhood started with. They pioneered fractional shares, and I just saw how disgusting that whole process actually is. The way the technology runs, because we interacted with all of it. We interacted with Plaid, which interacts with several different banks to try and aggregate the data. And then we interacted with Apex Clearing, which interacted with Silex. Silex interacted with the exchanges directly, which then interacted with Apex back from our commands. And then Apex then communicated with several other companies behind the scenes, moving basically CSV files around. So it was just nuts. And then this glorious thing in blockchain where you can directly communicate with the settlement layer was like, that's it. I had been in the blockchain space. I bought my first Bitcoin, I think 2014. So I had been like listening to the space for quite a while and definitely invested in Ether in a good spot. But it wasn't until I worked for this bumped that I really realized I need to jump in and build this. So the original idea was actually at the hackathon, and I actually got it working, is to use Plaid, which is like what you hook your bank account with, and then it basically gives you all this aggregated data of like your store location, the when was it purchased, and so on. And the original idea was like, okay, let's have a merchant like a Starbucks mint a couple tokens. And if someone links their debit or credit card to their ETH account, then basically if they spend a certain amount of real fiat money, then automatically allocate the NFT to that user account. And so that was the original idea. And then, yeah, there's the beautiful hackathon win. It was a glorious day. Let's go back to here. So yeah, it's evolved over time. So I think that I didn't realize how difficult it is to interact with the blockchain. I was writing my own ETH event listeners. Things were constantly breaking. I had this very complicated, binding to your bank account. I couldn't figure out how to convince people to actually link up their bank account, because that just kind of goes against a lot of the cryptocurrency mentality. So I just stripped it down to be as simple as possible, just basic minter, and just nail the token management was kind of the focus. And especially when I learned about the graph, that's what really helped me as the one developer build this application out, because it just offloaded all of that really complicated indexing process.
And also, like last year, the MetaCartel demo day we did was like the first NFT only ticketing event. So this really like got us into ticketing, and we did us that, like our system is like very well geared toward ticketing. And that is what we are so excited about now. There's no like ticketing software for virtual conferences. So we are now like starting to look into like what can we do with like virtual conferences, because obviously like you can't just use Eventbrite or Ticketmaster, because how could you check in virtually?
Yeah, and everyone doesn't need to be logging into everybody's system around the world. And just give me a token, and then that allows me to view certain bits of content. That seems like a much more fluid solution. So, I mean, we can already build it the way it is now, especially with everything being a verified contract. Anyone can go ahead and interact with our tokens via code directly. We just need to write a ton of docs to do it, but we're only 2 humans doing it. So yeah. We're getting there.
So as far as like the future of Mintbase, would you say a lot of it's going to be into this NFT ticketing? Is that kind of where you guys are, the next step?
What I'm really excited about with DAppCon is I got into this knowing that interoperability is the future. I think Web 2.0 has figured out how to like fake that to some extent. I think I come from that asset land, right? When we think of what is a digital asset, people might think, oh, owning a share of stock is a digital asset. But in reality, if you look at the definition of an asset, it's anything that's tangible or intangible that can be owned or controlled. As soon as you use that word controlled, then you sort of lose the Facebook stock theory, because you're not really in control of that stock. You're interacting with a broker dealer like Robinhood, and Robinhood interacts with a clearing firm, or used to. They're their own clearing firm at this point. You can't just hold it on whatever wallet you want, and you can't move it around. So we're becoming a ticketing company because it seems like it's the very best way to demonstrate kind of, I think, this big power of what an NFT kind of gives us. Amazon, right? They built several different, you do all sorts of stuff on Amazon. Their big go-to-market strategy was, okay, let's come up with 20 different products. The number one product was books, because books just made the most sense for Amazon. They're lightweight, they're long shelf life, you can bang them up. It just made sense. We love tickets because it's a really great way to kind of demonstrate, hey, here's the transcendence between the digital and the physical world.
And also people get tickets. Like we are trying to break out of this blockchain bubble as well a bit. And we have this one festival in Berlin we are working together with. It's a techno festival. It's called Wilde Möhre. And people get it. Like it's a completely non-blockchain focused conference. It's techno. So, and they are doing the tickets with us as well. So this is beautiful to like also get normal people to like, learn about crypto and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, to answer your question, our direction is definitely ticketing for the next few months, but we also are like the easiest tool I think out there to create the NFTs. So right now, like the majority of our users are crypto artists and also like promoters. But like it's fascinating how crypto artists like they are really like early adopters, like people who sell their art, and they didn't have anything to do with blockchain before getting into NFT art. So that's what we've heard from most artists. And they are like really like creating assets on our platform, selling art, and it's really cool to see like a really different group getting into NFTs.
Yep.
And so what would you guys say, just like along the way, has been kind of your biggest challenges getting, established as Mintbase and kind of building up Mintbase?
Technology. I think we're starting to raise funds, so we're going through that process. That's another massive challenge. But I think we're pretty much defining. So like in Web 2.0, people have sort of figured out Web 2.0. We have cloud services. I think 3 people can do what 20 people could have done 10 years ago. The one thing I've learned a lot about is that I didn't really truly understand blockchain until I got my hands on the code. So that's been kind of the struggle too with some of the VCs is everyone thinks that, anybody can just create a blockchain company, or anybody, as long as you have the proper idea, anybody can execute. But my point is, I think like early on of the web, in order to create a successful company, you had to be an engineer. Like Facebook, Google, all of these companies were full-on engineers who had successful companies. MySpace, not so much. I think they had a team of marketing groups, and they kind of didn't really deliver. I think now we live in a day where, brilliant people who aren't coders can build a Web 2.0 company just fine. I think blockchain, we're back into that space again, where you have to like understand the code to be making a lot of these like decisions, and it's taking a year to really kind of understand how to build an application that actually works properly.
Cool.
If anybody on here actually wants to take over and create a token themselves, that would be like the most insane demo in the world. Not having me mint something. I'll send them ETH.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll do it.
All right, take over the screen and send me your ETH address, and I'll send you ETH back, however much it costs. I think gas isn't too insane right now. Take it over. We gotta visually see your screen though.
One moment. Sorry about that.
I'm a patient human. Sweet. Oh, you're doing it. All right,
Oh, wow.
cool. So wait. Can you log out real quick?
Yep.
Log out. Okay, do a quick refresh. We just switched to server-side rendering this week too, so it's been fun. All right, minting. MetaMask. Okay, create store. Oh, you've already got a store created?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that bad for the demo? I take it.
Yeah, I want to see it from the beginning. Anyone else want to? Did you already do that prior? Or?
Yeah, I did. I can stop. It's all good.
Anyone else want to take? Actually, screw it. You know what? You're here. Why not? Anyone else want to start from scratch with MetaMask?
Anyone? I mean, I would, but I got to install MetaMask and everything and set it up, and it would just take too long.
That's all right. You're already here. So what he did is he landed on a flat page.
I have MetaMask, and I don't have any of the other tokens, but
Oh, you don't need. You just need ETH to get going.
Yeah, it's super easy to get going. You just pretty much create. What do you think, Nate?
Do it. I'll send you a couple bucks. Mint the token. Upload an image.
All right, one sec. So you can drag and drop too, right?
No, we need to get that going for sure.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Just upload a JPEG of some sort. You can even take a screenshot.
I got one.
Cool. Boom, boom, boom. So the idea is like these tokens can be auth tokens. So a simple little script that you'll be able to say npm install Mintbase, and then you just say track this one token, and we'll tell you if they have the token or don't have the token, and then your website can do whatever it wants. If they're the owner of the token, we can boot them out of that web page, and you can just redirect them to a, you need to get a token thing. Oh, is that a PDF?
No, oh yeah, it is. Shit.
Yeah, any picture will do. You can just take a little screenshot of a thing. Well,
I am really making this difficult.
Yeah, that's all right.
Should I just bail? I got to get I just wanted to get a decent
Photo.
picture. Because it's on like.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, just take a screenshot of that.
All right.
Maybe in your background photo. Take a screenshot of like everyone in the room.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I think I've got one.
Document the occasion.
Exactly.
So I'll go to JPEG. Okay. So we'll do video box. Okay. So I'm going to actually pull one more shiesty move and change stores. It's super easy. Go to crowd.
So each one of these are different deployed. Oh, go ahead, man. Sorry.
All good. So I'm going to mint this image. Idiot box.
All right. She wants water.
So
Hey, real quick, sorry to interrupt, but Trident derivative, just so you know, you've got your mic down and there's a little bit of feedback going in the background.
Yeah. And then you can mint as many up to 25. You can always mint more later. And then if you just put up a little.
Now I know.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Mint that sucker. So let's see how much it costs. Gas, I think, was at 8 Gwei earlier today.
Oh, that's fine.
12 cents. Yeah, let's do this.
let's get it moving.
Let's get it moving. So as soon as we do it, so now he can do all sorts of other stuff. He can go to, well, there's not a lot to do right now because there's not a lot of mints. But basically, behind the scenes, we're just doing some polling that goes, hey, Graph, has anything updated? Is anything updated? If you guys ever use the Graph, definitely try and use polling over subscriptions. That was a long, painful process that I had to learn the hard way.
Woo,
There it is. So now you can hit transfer. So now you only minted one. If there were several, then there would be more lines to transfer multiple to. You can use ENS if you want. If you exit out of that, right now your token is not for sale. No one could grab this because the smart contract struck is basically saying, hey, this dude said he didn't want it for sale. But as soon as you enable that, since he put 0 price on it, anybody can grab that for free after he's enabled it. Or if you don't want to sell on Mintbase, actually, this is fun too. We got a few more minutes. Go to OpenSea.
Should I enable it? I kind of want to.
I mean, you can enable it if you want to enable it, but I think basically that coming soon will just go away immediately after you enable it. But with the limited time, go to OpenSea real quick.
All right.
Or confirm it. Oh, man.
Oh, you're killing me. I'm going back and forth.
All right, you got this. So now, if you go to OpenSea account, and that Mint is now on the market as well. So immediately you can see your mark in that thing. Yeah, go to My Items. So if OpenSea is doing its job correctly.
Yeah, go to Recently Born.
Maybe go down. Sometimes they take a minute to maybe a little refreshy. All right, it should be up in the top stack, but is this under my? You own a lot of domains, sir.
No, that's not even scratching the surface there.
Wow.
Little bit of an ENS whale.
Okay, there it is. So this is where the minds start kind of expanding with what a digital asset is like, hey, I didn't have to send it to OpenSea. It's just existing in different locations. And they're using the transfer function from that smart contract. Yeah, it's a neat world we're going to start jumping into.
Dope. All right.
Nice. Thank you so much for this demo.
That's taking demos to the next level. Not only are we doing a live demo, we're
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you guys, and thanks Kinshasa for demoing that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, got a couple minutes. Did you guys have any final closing statements or anything else you want to let anyone know about with Mintbase?
Definitely. So it's a really cool experiment what you guys done with this InterCon, and let us know if you are organizing more virtual events. Would love to get involved and do ticketing. Also, if you guys, anyone in this call has an idea how to get involved with DebCon, it's happening in September.
Yeah.
Then let us know. Like we want to involve as many other blockchain companies.
We should do like a very open meeting where we just have an open DAppCon meeting, maybe once a month up until when it comes, and just brainstorm some random ideas of what kind of weird stuff we can do with one asset owned by everyone.
Yeah, just reach out to us if you have any ideas, and we're excited to work with as many people as possible.
Yep, good to go.